Can I ask you to show the profitability? I'm looking at the ROE maybe of the overall company. You have to unmute your mic.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for your question. So
Yep.
we have the return on asset here, especially we adjusted it for non-core businesses because Cai Mep has a clear tendency and plan to divest from the segment. And if including it, we believe it would not reflect the true intrinsic value of the company. So after adjusting for those non-core businesses, the return on asset of Cai Mep is actually higher than regional peers, but lower than domestic peers in the last few years due to delay in Germanlink. And with the operation,
let me ask you about the net margin. So the net margin grows to I think 29% in year 2025, right? Which is a very, very high net margin. Let me ask you a question. From an ESG, you guys scored this company on S very high, but S also has to do with sharing with society. If a company makes a 29% net margin, is it possible that they're underpaying their workers, they're charging their customers too much, and that they could be operating at a lower margin and still be very strong and healthy?
Actually not, because the net margin of the port logistic industry is very high. It's still a common sense of the whole industry, not just Cai Mep. And Cai Mep actually offers its employees with higher benefit and higher salary, evidenced by its higher SG&A.
Okay.
Yeah.
That you based your recommendation on the growth of the Germanlink, and on the Germanlink side, is it the only one that benefit from the trend that you mentioned, or any other port in the region that benefit from the trend? And it looked like that you projected Germanlink growth very sharply, and what happened with Germanlink fell?
Thank you for your question. I would say that Germanlink had the most strategic location because it's the port that is located nearest to the sea gateway in global shipping lines. So thereby it's being the first player in the region to benefit from the increase in vessel size. As we know that in the modern world, we also need increasing size vessel so that we can benefit from cost optimized by transferring more throughput.
I would like to add my teammate on the bear case analysis. We also from a bear case analysis to assess the case if Germanlink does not meet our expectation. So yeah, as you can see in our bear case, we assume that Germanlink phase 1, even Germanlink phase 1 will not continue to grow, and even without Germanlink phase 2, and also the service fees remain unchanged, unlike the new amendment. It still result in a very limited downside of only 3%. So I think that, but the probability of these scenarios are very low because we all know that the Cai Mep region is really undersupplied, and there's still a strong ongoing trend of trading activities in Vietnam, export-import activities, which will fuel the growth of the region and will benefit Germanlink in the future. Thank you.
Can you go to the strategic location slide? Yes, we see that Germanlink is a key growth driver for Cai Mep, and you see that it is a strategic location. But can you compare and contrast Germanlink location compare with, for example, Hong Kong and Singapore as the transshipment hubs? Because we can see that they have another advantage compared to Cai Mep area. Can you compare and contrast the advantage of Cai Mep cluster compared to Hong Kong and Singapore as the transshipment hubs?
Thank you for your question. First, we believe the competitive tension based on regional basis to be insignificant because actually there has not been much threat from the regional port operation companies. And in fact, our customer base are shipping lines or import-export companies who are acting on their own demand when choosing Vietnamese ports. This is the first point I want to make. And the second point about Germanling strategic location, I only want to stress out the undersupply state in Cai Mep, which further give the Cai Mep deep port water area a strong growth momentum in the future. And this is supported by three main trends. The first one would be the increasing container ship size that sparked the high demand for deep water port. Like you can see in the Cai Mep area, the average ship size has increased from 2,500 TEUs up to more than 3,000 TEUs in just 1 year. The second trend would be the overloaded infrastructure in Ho Chi Minh City to accelerate the goods movement from Ho Chi Minh City to Cai Mep. And this is special because during the peak of COVID-19, Ho Chi Minh City has not meet the customer demands. And lastly, the the traffic connecting Cai Mep area to other network has been and will significantly improve in the future thanks to new various new traffic projects in the future. So this is my comparison for Germanling on the regional basis. I would say it would have a high growth potential.
Yeah, you seem to look at Cai Mep and Germanling from Vietnam look through the outside, but when shipper and the one who decide to transship in Hong Kong or Singapore or Cai Mep, and as far as I know, the port tariff of Singapore is much cheaper. And also they handle more professional than the Cai Mep, and also the diesel cost also much cheaper than Vietnam. So what is I'm a little bit concerned about the long-term outlook of the Cai Mep area compared to Hong Kong and Singapore. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, well, on a regional basis, as you can see on the chat above, the container handling charges of Vietnam is much lower than those of Asian peers. For example, our handling charges are only 80% of that of Cambodia's and only 46% of Singapore's. So I think that your worry maybe too much worry because actually, Vietnamese container charges are very competitive in the region, and although because it's really low, it has been recently proposed to increase. But even if after the increase, the container handling charges will be much lower than regional peers. So Vietnam will still remain an attractive location for foreign investors, well, for foreign transshipment.
Hi, may I have one question? Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right, so I see that the current market price of German is even lower than your downside case. And I would like to know your thought on that. And if you were analyst covering the stock for one the investment fund, what would you do? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I would like to answer that we evaluate the most important factor. One of the most important factors that affect the share price movement in recent days is about the market sentiment. So indeed, in the stock market, there's a circulation of cash flow of money among the industry, especially when there is a new change or hot news that appear and gain attention of investors. So this justifies how share price increased significantly in the end of 2020 when it published a news about Germanling and impressive business result, and also justify why it's dropped dramatically in recent days. In particular, we believe the negative movement of German stock in recent days mainly due to the chaos of the stock market and so the adverse news about the Hochiminh.
Time's
However,
up. Thank you to team for the Q&A session.